The changing tides for Bitcoin as Bitcoin closes off a pretty important week here and actually firing off a couple of very significant signals as well with a simultaneous close basically over $60,000. So that is going to be the focus of today. And of course, on this channel, we have been having just a general sort of defensive bias until we get to about the midpoint of September. And we are pretty much there now, actually. It's 14th day of September. And as we have been going over in the Bitcoin September lows list over here, Bitcoin lows typically happen around the first half of September. And especially in Bitcoin halving or election years, or if, I don't know, there's probably some sort of like moon shit as well, whatever you want to assign to that. The years of those of 2012, 2016, and 2020 have all come actually pretty early on within the months. In 2012, we did see the low for September coming in on the second day, same day actually on 2016 as well, September 2nd, they're showing up yet again. And then in 2020, September 8th. And that is rather interesting because as of right now, with Bitcoin popping back up above $60,000, Bitcoin's current low this month would be about September 6th. So that is, well, I mean, there's not too many data points there. You can't really draw too much conclusions from that, but you know, that kind of fits the bill for those prior iterations. And that's rather interesting to me because as Bitcoin does close off this week, actually on a positive note, it is seeming like bears are, well, kind of fumbling the ball here. And Bitcoin is, you know, on its way to salvaging it itself. Here's the thing with the 5-day time frame for CME, it is building some hidden bullish divergence with that close from last night. But remember, we're not going to see the next close for this until about Tuesday of next week to confirm that. But hey, anywhere basically above that red 5 exponential moving average, which is currently at 59,700. And yes, indeed, that will be fired off. And this same signal has been essentially accompanied by the last few, significant rallies that we have seen since Bitcoin began this corrective period in about mid-March. I believe on top of that, we also do see, yes, indeed, some bullish divergence come off of the daily right here. Yes, there was some hidden bearish divergence potential on the 12-hour time from yesterday that I did call out. That obviously did not play out. It was also unconfirmed, so we did not see a local high. And with the way that Bitcoin has actually rallied here, it's actually not going to be possible as well, I don't believe, because Bitcoin is now trading at about the same highs that we did see from those like late August, early September area. So in this case, there's actually not going to be divergence possible, at least as of right now, in the way that things are positioned here for that next open coming in on Monday again. So it's actually the higher term timeframes that seem to be taking on over. And well, it is happening at around the right time of this month. And what's very interesting about that is, as we've also gone over, is that the second half of September from basically the midpoint, which we're kind of at right now, basically, till the end of September, has traditionally been a more likely to be positive time. And also we do have statistics on that as far as what the average return to expect is, which is, if I could just run my little cursor over here, is 5% for those positive gaining ones. 8 out of 13 were positive gaining, I should add. So that is about a 61.5% strike rate for, just positive time for the second half of September. It's even better if you only measure from where the quad witching is, which obviously doesn't happen until, the end of this next week. But one thing before the next, and you can kind of see how the wheels turn into, a better second half here. So the average return of 5%, let's kind of see what that would look like. Again, we are basically at the halfway point right now. So if we take the high of where Bitcoin did close off on CME, now at about 5%, what do you know? That brings Bitcoin basically back around $63,500. Again, these are averages. There's going to be some variance in there, which is actually hilarious it's hilarious to read the comments sometimes. A lot of people obviously get it, but some people they think like statistics are, everything has to be exactly as it is. Like, no, 61% probability means like 4 out of 10 times. That's not going to happen, sir. Anyways, in this case right here, 5% to the upside will put Bitcoin in a very interesting place because that would be pretty much in alignment with the last lower high that Bitcoin has seen during this corrective period at about 60. Let me see exactly what it is on the line chart here. It is exactly at 63,915. So pretty damn close to that last prior lower high, meaning that if Bitcoin can actually reclaim that, this area right here, just trade above it really, or especially close above it would be significantly better. That would be a damn good indication that the reversal is actually here, because we haven't seen necessarily a higher high and a higher low in quite some time now. So that'll be the next sort of big step. On top of that, if I bring you to my stochastic momentum charts, we should also be aware that with the way CME closed out this week, which it did close at just above 60,000 bucks, we are going to see stochastic momentum continue, actually cross the upside, assuming that Monday kind of, or Monday kind of keeps price action right around the $60,000 pivot. Of course, we don't really expect too much, volatility over the weekend. But hey, if Bitcoin can of course maintain above about 60,000 bucks even, we're going to see momentum turn back up on the weekly for CME. I believe also the same thing, actually, sorry, not even close to the same thing on spot price action. Spot price action pivot is significantly lower at 56,800. So barring some sort of catastrophe before now and Sunday's close, very likely that one does cross up again. And I believe that the 5-day time frame will be, yes, angled in the same direction. Very likely. Again, that pivot is 59,000 bucks. 2-day time frame is also going to be crossing back up to the upside here. 58,300 is the current magical number there, and daily time frame is also vertical above 53,000 bucks. All of these are CME, again, not trading over the weekend, so just needs to maintain above those price levels to open up this next week. And you can see how things change around pretty damn fast. Coming into this midpoint of September. All of those major pivots, which were pretty much somewhere around about 59, maybe 60,000 bucks, are being surpassed now. And well, that's going to start to change my tone on this channel. Again, I'd prefer to wait until the end of this next week just to be like super safe, just because that's kind of the way I think. But Bitcoin bulls are doing what they need here to do in order to kind of keep the hopes alive into the end of this September, which again is more likely to be bullish, and then October, which is significantly more likely to be bullish, as that is one of the best months historically for Bitcoin, or just markets in general, really. Moving on from there, we should go check out the HPDR ranges. We can see that Bitcoin actually even closed above the 50% range high here for the weekly for CME. So I would be expecting to kind of play between the 38.2 level coming into next week and the 50% level to the downside. So again, it does matter where things open up on Monday, but I am making an assumption here that Bitcoin will kind of hold the line around 60,000 bucks. If that happens, you can kind of expect a range like that. Still probably a tight range, probably, somewhat boring, but things will start to shift up, obviously. And then on top of that, if you have been following the five exponential moving average strategy right here for the daily, for the long side, well, there was another entry which fired off. That was actually this past Monday at about 57,000 bucks. This one's still active, and we can see that the red 5 now is just under 59,000 bucks. So, if Bitcoin, that is for today, obviously it will update tomorrow, but basically as long as Bitcoin's above that number for right now, this trade remains open, and, barring any sort of, again, catastrophic move to the downside in the short term, it's very likely does close yet another profitable trade after a small loss over here, a nice gain over here, another small loss over here. Anyways, let's close it off on that note. I should let you know that I'm actually going to be traveling today. I'm going to be traveling actually for the next couple days, so it's going to be really fucking busy on my own end. If you're trying to reach out to myself, or especially Elsa, probably more so Elsa, for support requests, please understand that we're not going to have internet connectivity for probably about 48 hours, I would say. At least like consistent internet connectivity during that time. So we'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. But it is what it is. But that means the most important indicator, the airplane indicator, is about to fire off. And who knows, maybe this party gets a lot more crazy in the short term here. Anyways, I'll be signing off on that note. As always, want to wish you the best bets. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.